like as always, we always have a good natter before.
Where are we looking? Oh, nowhere.
Just at each other.
Just chilling.
As always, we always have a good natter before we come on, and we could probably always speak all day. And this is the first time we've been in a new concert room.
I know.
I think probably most of our audience is quite familiar with each other. But for anyone in my audience who might not be aware of your sort of who you are and what you do, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Nicola Graham. I have been an online coach for the last 5 or 6 years, been a PT for the last 10 plus years. And I specifically work with women 35 plus who want to level up in every area of life.
Do you still love it the way you did 10 years ago?
More. If I could stretch myself to still be a PT and do online and be a good mum and all of the things, I would absolutely do it. There's not even a part of me that doesn't love what I do, which is, what a privilege that is.
That is a privilege. It took me a long time to get to that point as well. Like,
pretty cool, that
probably
actually.
wasn't until I actually became a dad, to be fair. I became a dad at 34. And before that, I was doing bits. I was in business and stuff. I was self-employed, but the penny didn't really drop with like the real sort of passion projects.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I really had to sort of manage my time better and be a bit less selfish around where to spend my time.
Yeah.
It didn't really hit, but I love that. Have you seen it evolve over the last 10 years?
I think the passion for me, just to come back to this, so my passion is to help women, and I have 2 daughters. So that's why it's blown up, I think, because I'm like, everything I do is a work in progress for the world I want my kids to grow up in.
Love it.
So it kind of does like full circle.
It's a good why, right? It's a good why.
Yeah.
It's a big why.
I say this all of the time, Stay. If you can truly hone in on your reason why and live by it, the things that you want will feel more effortless, if that's the right way to put it, because you're so strapped into why you're doing it. But then we get taken off course. So, classic scenario with women that I work with. Why is this important to you, that you want to get in good health? Because I want to be, for my kids. And okay, that's the reason why. But then you keep getting pulled into this fast fix mentality of like, but can I just look this way and weigh this number, and like, as long as the scales can give me some validation. And I'm like, but we've just said that this is about being healthy for your kids. So do you know what I mean? That's, you're not in alignment. You understand what you want long term, but you're not truly lining up with it.
It's more like psychology based coaching than
I definitely do more work than ever before now on like mental and emotional fitness.
Yeah.
Because that's when we talk about self-sabotage.
Would you say physical fitness is downstream from mental fitness?
It's like an ecosystem, isn't it? It's like they all help each other. But I think we neglect more the mental and emotional, and I think our ability to be able to compare ourselves to everyone else nowadays, which is social media, means that we have to pay more attention to our mental and emotional fitness. Maybe we didn't have to 10 years ago. I can't really remember. But now, at this point, like what we've just been speaking about off camera, how do you know when you've got to the point where you are enough?
Yeah.
Well, we could always look and see different or better or on social media. So intuitively, you've got to be dialed in.
Yeah.
It can't just be go to the gym, job done.
Maybe it is a bit of a fool's errand to constantly strive for that, because it's like there'll always be more. Always. You see these billionaires who all like want more money, more power, more.
Yeah.
Like it's that hungry thing of like when we run businesses, like what is the point where like enough is enough? I mean, I don't think I've reached it yet. I don't think I've reached that point where enough's enough. I still want more. Still got ambitions I want to conquer and goals I want to hit. But I can see myself at some point in my life just going, do you know what? I've accomplished everything I want to do. I'm going to enjoy myself and do other stuff.
I think the thing is, this is such a good topic to be on. Like, so the question, do you think women can have it all? And men might get the same question. Do you think men can have it all? I do. But I think we've got to get clear that in different seasons of life, having it all is going to look different. Having it all for you right now might be, I get to spend time with my kids, I get to be flexible with my work. You know, having it all in another season of life might be business is going through the roof. Like, it's knowing what matters most in the moment.
Well, Harry, my little one, he's 5 in January.
Oh.
He had his first nativity play yesterday.
Oh, how did it go?
Amazing. He was only on for like 25 minutes. He sang like 3
Love
hymns.
it.
Amazing.
Oh.
Dead proud. We're sitting in there, like all the parents there. It was great. I can do that. You know, I don't have to sacrifice them.
You
them
don't have
moments.
to ask
And
someone's permission.
I've got this thing like the memory bank. It's like there's moments where I'll never forget, and that's one of them, right?
Yeah.
And I get to do that because it's on my own terms and the business is right. Now, if I'm running a big empire of a business and businesses we're just smashing it all the time, I've got to give up everything. I'm going to miss them moments and not willing to do it. So there's always that trade-off of like what success looks like. Now,
Yeah.
I could identify success as seeing my kids grow up, being the best that I can, got a nice business. What more do I want after that?
You feel mentally, emotionally, physically well.
I'm training nearly every day.
Yeah.
I'm eating well. I'm in the best place I've been for years. Like, what's not to love? But then someone might come along and go, well, I've got 10 times the business you have, 10 times the size. Oh, all right, well, that's success to you, but it might not be success to me.
Yeah.
And you are right, you've got to balance that in like seasons of your life, because in 10 years' time, when the kids are a bit more grown up and they don't want to be around us so much anymore.
Yeah. So there's a fine line to this. I'll apply this to like women in fitness striving for their goals. And sometimes I'll speak to women and they've got to the point where they've settled because they believe this is the best I can, this is the best I'm going to get to. And they've settled for less than they would love to have when it comes to like physical fitness, let's say, or even just like health. But that's where they're not allowing themselves to think limitlessly.
Yeah.
And maybe they have got some mental blocks, maybe they have got some limiting self-beliefs, maybe they are too free, giving time, energy, filling everybody else's cup. So that's the contradiction of this as well, is that sometimes you can settle too soon. I think that's where coaching is amazing, because I will hold you to a higher standard. I say this on every podcast we've ever done, but that is, if someone said to me, what is it that your clients get the most out of? Because I will hold you to the higher standard until it becomes your new, the bar.
It's almost like you are better than what you are projecting to yourself and to the world.
You're just not tuning out the noise. So you're getting pulled in every direction. And it's having you feel like there is no wiggle room for you to better yourself. But a lot of the time, Steve, I'm sure we've just spoken about this off camera or in a roundabout way. Well, we have, about the task that you're currently on. Okay, in hindsight, a lot of the time we realise I'm not reaching my own potential here because I'm being torn in different directions. That actually, when I look back, that's not the best use of my time.
Yeah.
So I think, but this is the thing, isn't it? Get clear on, okay, what needs to happen differently next time, and then follow up on it. Don't keep allowing yourself to be torn and
don't live the same
energy
6 months
stretched.
over and over again.
No.
Yeah, I get it. I get a bit reflective at this time of year as well, so it's good conversations with, I think, because I always think back about like this time last year, freaking hell, Jesus, baby was just born.
Oh yeah.
Like sleepless nights, still getting sleepless nights now. Businesses, massively. Oh yeah. Yeah, he will sleep a bit better now, but only in our bed and stuff. So getting him in his own bed and sleeping through is hard. But not complaining. We're only young for a short amount of time.
I'm just going to, sorry, interrupt you, because I was listening to a podcast the other day and it was a mum and she was saying there's a reason that like the SAS and stuff use sleep deprivation as a form of torture.
Yeah.
Because it will deplete people like nothing else. And I'm like, parents just do that as a given.
Yeah.
It's wild, isn't it?
Do you know what? It's one of them things where it's a punishment. Imagine someone just prodding you to keeping you awake all the time. Sounds like torture, doesn't it? Even when you're so tired and someone's just keeping you awake.
I mean, it's different when it's your baby, but yeah.
Yeah, because you love them and care for them so much.
Yeah.
And you want them to the thing is, like, the ripple effect of your day, having a solid 8-hour sleep a night, your day, everything in your day gets better.
Yeah.
You eat better, you train better, you're more productive, you're more switched on to decision making.
Yeah.
You're more present with the kids. Even just stuff like,
well, you're more regulated,
well,
aren't
put it
you?
this way, right? I remember like Charles didn't have a good night's sleep, and then every evening I try and just like literally just get on the floor without my phone, just play with Harry,
Be present.
be present, or even if it's just like wrestling on the bed or something, or you know what I mean, just something like that and that stuff. And one day I was that tired, I got on the floor, I was like, just nearly fell asleep, and I was like, this is just no good. This is just
I can't. This was me last night. We were playing Hair Salon, which is one of my favourite games to play with the kids because I just sit and they do my hair. So Already likes to impersonate how I brush her hair, which is savage, by the way. Like, I didn't realise. She's like bashing my head with the brush, and I'm like, oh, this is a bit of an aggressive salon. I fell asleep last night. I fell asleep. And I woke up and we have like this conditioning hairspray because my girls have got curls. She'd taken the lid off it whilst I was asleep, sitting up. This is no lie. And it was all over my pants.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh, oopsie daisy, because you know when you think you can't have anything to say about this, Nick, you've just fell asleep mid hair salon visit.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, like that's just mine aren't even babies. I am getting decent sleep, but I think it's just parenthood, life this time of year.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy.
It's mad. And do you know what? I wouldn't swap it. But I've noticed just with an 8-hour sleep, like it's not just like a form of like punishment, like keeping you awake. It's more it changes your behaviour and your mood and your temperaments and everything. So a lot of things change based on good sleep. But that's a whole probably for a different thing. I was actually speaking to another coach on the podcast a few weeks ago. It wasn't actually on the podcast, actually. It was a content day in the room. And I know I was having a look at his content before he came in. And he's a fitness coach, good fitness coach at that. And he was talking about like how all the negative benefits of the jabs and all this new stuff that's coming out, you know, like Manjaro and Ozempic and all this stuff. I wanted to get your opinion, really, like, with all this new stuff coming out, are people's behaviours changing around that sort of stuff as well? And the reason why I asked this, because I had a really good conversation with him and I want to get your view on it. It's like, I remember when I was a PT, and I wish I'd have learned this lesson earlier, I was always kind of like against stuff. So I'd always just like put my fork in the sand and be like, no, for or against. And people in marketing will tell you to do that. They'll be like, I just stand for something. And you'll get a load of hate, you get a load of love, but there's no in between. And so I was always just kind of like, put me forward
on one side of the fence.
Yeah, it was like, and it'd be the same with skinny jabs now. I would have been like, no, I'm against them. You shouldn't do them. Unnecessary. But what I found was I was always in like a bit of a conflict with people, like because human behaviour, and this is on the subject of human, is always quite hard to change. In the sense of like, if people are going to do a jab or take a shortcut, they're going to take a jab or do a shortcut. And Tommy, the coach who was talking about, was saying he's kind of like reshaped his coaching program to work with people, even though he's against the jab, who would do the jab to like get them through it and get them through it safely. So he's actually working with them now rather than just constantly being like arguing with people about whether to do it or not. So I just wanted to get your take really on like the state of all that stuff, because it seems a bit of a, I mean, I've been out of the fitness industry 7 years now, and there's a bit of a shit show back then in terms of like information, misinformation. But it seems even more so, and even more of a minefield for people to navigate now. So I just wanted to like get you to quickly touch on that sort of stuff.
So the coach you've just been speaking to, I think that's a really savvy idea. From a business perspective, if you open up your doors to now help people who are taking GLP-1s as well as also being anti-GLP-1s, like he's
like contradicted.
He's got the market, like both sides. So that's savvy. My mission is to help women thrive on every level. That is going to involve like putting health at the forefront of every decision that you make on some level. And sometimes it's healthy to have a glass of wine and have a piece of cake and chill.
Yeah.
That's, and sometimes it's going to be a healthy option to take the medication because you're in a position where we just need to kickstart things because the noise in your head is so loud that we need to get you off the ground. Well, I really dislike that phrase, but it is. It's being coined food noise, isn't it?
My interpretation of that is like, if you love ice cream, let's say, and you know there's a tub of Ben and Jerry's sitting there full in the freezer, and you're sitting there watching the telly, and you know it's in the freezer, that magnetism of the ice cream calling you out. Oh, I know it's there. I want it. I want it. I want it.
It's dopamine, though. It's not the ice cream that we want. We want a hit of dopamine, and the more that you do that, the less satisfying that dopamine is. So the more ice cream you need to get that satisfaction. It's not about the ice cream. It's the satisfaction of the dopamine. So this is why.
Great take.
So this is why overeating eventually gets way out of control, because I can eat one little piece of chocolate, and this is not me blowing smoke, but I've got a very take it or leave it attitude around food because I've put a lot of time and effort into the emotional, mental side of fitness. I still do. So I can have a little piece of chocolate that gives me the hit. Great. I don't need to eat the full bag. I just don't need to.
And that's a practice thing.
I believe it is, but for example, I wouldn't have the Ben and Jerry's in the house if I knew it was going to be calling me from the freezer. I just wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
Draw a line. Know how to protect yourself.
So I'll always remember this. I had clients who would say to me, they would get in the car at 9:30 at night and drive to the shop just to get a chocolate bar.
Oh, like, honestly, you wouldn't believe the amount of women.
The magnetism of having something in the freezer, but if it's that strong that you have to go to shop at 9:30 at night.
So that's a stress response. And this is where, with the fat loss injections, so I'm not anti-fat loss injections for the women that need it, but ultimately, we've got to consider why you're in this position in the first place. It's driven by habits and behaviours, which might be driven by, it could be a whole host of things, just lifestyle, mindset, previous trauma, like anything. What happens when we take those injections away? If we don't address the habits and behaviours that have got you in this position, you're going to go back to those habits and behaviours. Yeah. It's the same. It's a new version of a quick fix day. Is that like, if you go on a 6-week plan and you shred all the weight, great. What happens when you come off the plan? If you've learnt nothing in that process of how to eat better and how to better manage your stress. So, example of clients who feel the urge to go and binge eat at 9:30 at night. I know a lot of women in this position, worked with a lot of women in this position. We are not looking to replace that chocolate bar with a punnet of blueberries. Like, that's what people think they're signing up for. Like, just give me the smart swap. I'm like, no, that's not. We need to understand why you need that release so urgently at 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
Okay, then we get to the crux of that. Then we work on plugging different things in throughout the day. So we get to 9:30 and you're just not in that state of fight or flight. It's not. And honestly, I've seen this with so many women. And this is why I said this the other day on social media, like before and after photographs. I think they're great, but they show a snapshot. And a lot of coaches their motivation is to get an after picture for their social media. Okay. But what we would love is to get you in a position where, like, mentally, emotionally, like, we're thriving.
Yeah. Tamia from Confidently Support came on the podcast last week, and she said that I don't know if she's seen this thing, but she teaches this thing, that we live in an age now where all our memories are going to be full of everyone else's hopes and dreams. And what she means by that is we're consuming so much of other people's good stuff that all our memories are just going to be other people's stuff, which it really sat with me that a little bit, because I was always like, fuck. And I always remember watching this film when I was younger. I can't even remember what the film was. And this is getting really deep, but it was like life. Everyone sees the snapshots of your life, like all the best pictures and all. But life is everything that happens in between. Yeah. And it's the same with coaching, right? Like, all the good coaching and all the good learning points and all the good transformation comes in them in between moments, not the pictures you see. like
It's really hard
done on social.
to convey. Enjoy the process.
And
Enjoy
also,
the journey.
that's not downplaying anyone's physical transformation, because to do a physical transformation, a good one, is fucking hard work.
But the point is that you see a snapshot of someone's physical transformation and you instantly want to know what diet were they on, what training were they doing, and it's so much more has changed. So I've got one lady in mind who was doing the binge eating, actually specifically driving to a garage, which is what made me think of her when you said that. And her life has completely changed since we started working together. Physically, she's transformed, but you know, if she told you the biggest transformation that she's had, she wouldn't even though weight she felt was her number one goal, she would tell you now that it's the way she lives her life.
I love it.
She's changed her career. She is a different mum. She's a different wife. She prioritises herself. She speaks up instead of trying to shrink herself when she's in a crowd. Like, it's just everything has changed, and that's the transformation. But you can't get a photograph of that. So there's got to be some level of. This is why.
It's hard for coaches to quantify that, because they're always like
really
these posted before and afters.
Yeah,
that's quantifiable, because like that's before, that's after, innit?
Yeah.
But you can't quantify them learning moments, them little penny drops in a coaching call, like.
And because we see everybody else's snapshot, I think the majority of women, they want to just live a life where they're just living at ease. Yeah. We open the wardrobe, we can just put on what we want to wear. We're not stressing about every mouthful of food. However, the intangible like route, it's not convincing enough. We have to know that there's going to be some form of restriction, some form of like it's almost like women feel there has to be some form of punishment to get to where you want to be, and there's no other way of doing it.
With my content head on, if you're a coach watching this, share the insights. Seriously, we talked about this. Share insights from your coaching calls. Just be like, yeah, got off a coaching call, had this real sort of penny drop moments.
Yeah.
Share them, because
I do that. I just don't do it as content. I'll do it as a story. Yeah. So that is content, but it doesn't stay on the page.
Do you know what? Sometimes I'll just be like, you know what? I'm going to Manchester today with clients and we're doing this thing. And I'll literally just, that'll be the whole thing. But it probably won't do as well. It won't get the most views in the world. It won't get the most engagements in the world. But it just shows people actually, oh, that person actually overcome
this. That's the process. It's the journey. Yeah, I suppose so.
Very interesting, that. And I like that take. If you're a woman who's mid to late 40s, say, early 40s, whatever, and you've been trying to lose weight for a long time, or trying to change your mindset for a long time, and all of a sudden you took the jab, and all of a sudden you've got the goals that you want to hit, and their kind of mindset is, I don't know, I've got some other goals I want to achieve in my life beyond physical. Maybe I want to run a marathon, or I want to start a business, whatever. And that jab has allowed them to do that. Is there any negative? Again, I don't know the answer to this, so I'm generally asking the question. Is there any negative aspect to just doing it, like physically doing it? Like taking like a Manjaro or an Ozempic or something?
So I think the general consensus is, from a research perspective, there's more that we don't know about the GLP-1s than we do know.
Yeah.
So we can say these are the pros, these are the cons, but actually time will tell, I think.
Yeah.
Ultimately. Absolutely. If someone takes a weight loss injection and then on the other side of that, they suddenly feel this freedom and they want to go run the marathon and they want to build a business, and it was the cure that they believed that they needed this whole time, then happy days. But is that going to come with the trade-off further down the line? Potentially. So I would say, if you are willing to take it because you genuinely believe that there's no other option, you have to be willing to get smart and understand what good nutrition, good healthy habits, working on the mindset, resistance training, building muscle. You've got to understand what that looks like and plug it in, and it's got to be a part of your lifestyle. A quick fix will never be the long-term solution. But if you need it as a launch pad and you genuinely believe that, my issue is I see far too many women taking it because it's a quick fix. And now the new skinny is even skinnier than before.
It's mad, isn't it?
So women who didn't need to take it are now taking it because it's like, but what if I could get a bit skinnier?
I know. It's mad, isn't it?
And I'm just like, but why do we feel that we need to be so skinny?
I mean, bodybuilders,
it's wild.
Bodybuilders are using it now to get them through the end of like a prep, like, do you know, like a bodybuilding
To suppress
prep?
appetite.
Yeah. Do you know, like the hot?
So it's being used for
do you know when it
aesthetic
gets,
purposes.
do you know when it gets really hard at the end
Yeah.
of like a prep? I've never
And
done a bodybuilding
yeah.
competition, but I've made weight for like powerlifting competitions, and that last like 2 or 3 pounds that
Yeah.
you need to get off. They're using it for that.
So when I was a personal trainer, bodybuilding was big.
Yeah.
And the gym I worked in, there was a lot of
Bodybuilders in there.
competitors, yeah. And like they would talk, like it becomes your life, doesn't it? So they would talk about how many calories they've got and the nutrition and the training split and how depleted they felt and how much water they've got to drink and like, and I would be having these conversations all day, every day.
Sure.
I've seen women who've taken it who were clearly struggling, and I'm talking, you know, would definitely be in that. Is it chronic obese? Maybe.
Yeah.
And like, let's just call it for what it is. We can physically see when people are chronically obese, and then you see them and you're like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. And I feel so happy for them because they clearly needed something to kickstart.
They would literally never have done it without it.
No. Or be willing to commit to a process that is not 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know,
If you're like, I mean, I think what it was originally for, to the best of my knowledge, my limited knowledge on it, I think it was to pull people out of diabetes and obesity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was originally. It wasn't. I don't think it was meant to be made for like the mass market, but that's what it kind of turned into, and that's why it's got more expensive now.
This is the thing, though. It's the same with everything, isn't it? So it got put into the mass market at a really good price. Everybody started taking it. Yeah. Great, all my problems are solved because I'm now skinny.
Well, women
messed up in itself. But then the price has now gone up.
I know, it's mad.
So now it's then you realise, okay, there was a game plan behind this all along. Clearly,
100%. The women will happily pay 250 quid a month for Botox, or they'll pay thousands for a boob job. They will, to look better, or the lips to get done, or the makeup to get done, or the hair to get done. Men as well.
Mm-hmm.
But women more generally. So there's no reason why they wouldn't pay that to lose weight. But my argument always is the habit building process and the lifestyle building process, what you've got to get to from where you are, can be quite tedious and it can be quite soul sapping at times. And it's not the easiest road to take. And that's where the value of good coaching comes in. Now, if you're skipping that entire process, you're going to become almost dependent on this stuff. And then when that's gone away, you're not going to have the crutches to help you stand up. Whereas the coaching will give you that. So,
inside of the work that I do, and it is quite specific, and not every woman wants this level of depth, but I would argue that if you are so happy to give away money to change the way that you look, and I'm not against anybody who likes a bit of Botox or get your lips done, you do what makes you feel good. But a lot of the time, I guarantee if we got down to what is really going on, it's lack of self-worth. So you feel that if you look a certain way, weigh a certain number, dress a certain way, you've got the same handbag that's like in fashion or whatever that is, which I haven't got a clue about anymore. That was Nick in her late 20s. Then you will get that external validation. And it's not even...
I don't think I've ever seen you outside a gym kit, you know.
I don't think my husband has in the last 10 years, honestly. I was thinking this morning.
Every morning I wake up and I go on Instagram. And the first story I always see is Nicola Graham, and it's always the 6 a.m. session. Always.
Classic, creature of habit.
You and Katie just there.
But yeah, it's like external validation, and it's not in like a conceited way. It's like that's just what we've now become accustomed to. Like we just so desperately want to be accepted, and we want to be seen to be keeping up with the Joneses, and we've got this ability to compare ourselves. So I said on my podcast last week, little subtle plug there for my Nicola Graham podcast, which I did launch via Stay, so thanks for that, Stay. But I was talking about the whole matching pyjamas at Christmas. Okay, just just random example. The need for everyone to go out and buy matching PJs, even if it's out of your budget, even if you're never going to wear them again, for one Instagram photograph that you're probably going to have absolute murder with the kids over because no one will sit still. But we're going to post it anyway because guess what? We've got to keep up with the new trend, which is everybody gets a matching photo in front of the tree. Boycott it. Boycott it and see how that feels. Get in your discoordinated and just honestly, because this is another thing though we talk about. We're spending our time and our energy trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're also spending our money. And now, thanks to GLP-1s, we are sacrificing our health, all to keep up with a narrative that we're seeing online, which is a snapshot. It's wild.
I seen this. I don't know if you've seen this.
I could stand up and get on a soapbox now and talk about this, honestly, because you know how deeply passionate I am
but
about
this is the thing. Like, I'm genuinely curious about this stuff because I've been out the industry for like maybe 6 or 7 years now. I still train and everything. I still do my own bits, but generally, like, I'm not doing any work in fitness now, apart from content creation. So it's generally interesting to me because I remember back in the day, there was like loads of misinformation out there about, there's been loads of stuff over the years, like high carb, low carb, fasting, like I was always like,
overwhelmed.
Yeah, and I was always just like, I used to get really het up and I'd be like really sort of almost like battling people sometimes, just like try and convince them and be. Anyway, I noticed this thing, it's like GLP-1s, but it's for like performance enhancers.
I feel like I can't hit the microphone's so close.
You'll thank me for it later. Like, it's the same thing as GLP-1s, but for performance enhancers. Do you know, like testosterone and PEDs and steroids and stuff?
Yeah.
And what it was built for originally, why the reason why they started doing it was to pull people out of stuff like lupus and autoimmune diseases to like strengthen them up. Or do you know, like brittle bone disease and like take them to give them
what?
like,
and now
steroids.
This is being used.
Now it's being used as like steroids without all the side effects.
Yeah.
And it's a really I've got boys, you've got girls, this is something I worry about because if they go to the gym and stuff, they're going to get exposed to this stuff. Like I've never touched a steroid, by the way, but I was like one of the ones that didn't. Like I was like the 1% that didn't.
Yeah.
And you get exposed to it, especially if you're in the fitness world. And for like an impressionable 17-year-old kid who wants to get jacked or whatever, it could again same thing as the.
It's a standard though, isn't it? Our kids are going to say
skinny, more ripped. How can I get more ripped? How can I have the most jacked, stone-looking six-pack in the world? It's like, fucking hell.
My girls are going to grow up in a world where the majority of women have got bigger lips than is what is natural. Yeah. They're going to be naturally skinny. Most have got, one thing and another has been adjusted to look a certain way. And I want to make it clear here, I am not against you doing you. You do you, honestly. But get really clear on why you want that outcome. And if it's to please anybody else, rethink.
Yeah.
Rethink and honestly just take a step back. Come off the social media. Like, I think, so the niche that I work with now, 35 plus, like our hormones start to change in our 40s. And it is like, it's like learning to get to know yourself again. Yeah. It's the weirdest feeling today. My husband actually was having a chat with a guy the other day and he believes that men go through the same change, but it's not clinically given a title because, it doesn't impact fertility. It doesn't impact, ovulation or anything like that for you guys. So maybe that's a separate podcast. Yeah, like your hormones start to change.
Do you know what I think it is?
You've got to learn how to adapt and understand your own body and your own thoughts differently, and it's just
it's like 38. I've done a bit of research on this as well. Is the age where men typically have like a midlife crisis. Yeah. I'm 39 now, and thankfully I didn't have a midlife crisis. I don't think.
You haven't had one yet.
I've not done yet. But what is it like? How would you define a midlife crisis? Is it going out and buying a Porsche for no reason, or is it doing some random stuff for no reason, or spending an inordinate amount of money on something for no reason?
I think that's what it's labelled as for men, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me it was more like I was just become a lot more aware of my mortality. Like
100%.
like I'm a lot like when you're young, you don't really think about. It's not even in like a mental health sort of way or like a morbid sort of way, but you just become a lot more aware
just
that
reality,
my
isn't
time
it?
is limited.
I wonder if that's the age, on average, that we get to as well when we all of a sudden start to realise our own parents are ageing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like our responsibilities for our parents change, and we've got our own kids, and it's like we're just not. It's not that we're not as carefree. Well, we're not as carefree, but like life and the way that we spend our time and who we spend it with and where we give our energy and even how we spend our money, like there just comes a clear point, doesn't it, where that has to change.
Yeah. 100%.
And
100%.
obviously, if hormones are having a
Defo.
party
Defo.
alongside all of
100%.
this, then
And like it's almost like I don't know if you felt this as well, but it's almost like you're not old enough to do old people stuff, and you're still young enough to do young people stuff. So you're in this like really mid.
it's so
It's literally
weird,
the middle
isn't
of
it?
your life. Like I'm too old to go clubbing and do all the partying, and that life's behind me. But I'm not old where I'm like I'm not a has-been.
You're
or
not going to
anything.
go to the pub quiz and then be in bed for half
I'm
8.
not going to go to bingo or anything.
Yeah.
um,
I've never thought about it like that, as in like,
it's like
that's all behind me.
It's like that mid thing, this party life where your focus is not you anymore. The focus is watching the kids grow up and taking care of them and making sure they grow up to be decent people and, you know, find their own way of life. And, you know.
So here's something for you. Because a big value of yours is making your kids' childhood magical, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's one of your values. Yeah. Make your experience of fatherhood magical though as well.
Yeah.
Like think of like what's going to make my experience as a dad of young children magic.
Yeah.
Because we again, it's very selfless. Like we're speaking about our responsibilities change, and we're thinking about our parents, and we're thinking about our kids, and we're thinking about our significant other. And again, like it feels really selfish to then think about ourselves. But we can still think about our needs.
Mm.
But it's got to fit the stage
like
of life that we're in.
Like for me, it's like it's almost always trying to do my best in every situation.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, it's like all the content we make, this podcast. I've got this fascination with like books and movies and podcasts because they'll kind of outlive ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like in theory, if YouTube doesn't go away, it'll still be there in 100 years.
Yeah.
In theory.
I wonder what type of audio they'll be listening to it on.
This is the thing, right? So, like, you know, what kind of person?
Hi, kids.
Always try to do my best and try to, like, you know, shaft people. Or, but I think the thing that'll always stick around is the stories that your kids tell about you. When I look back at my childhood, a great childhood.
Moody cow is probably my kids are probably.
I don't think you're a moody cow. But like I look at my grandparents are pretty much, you know, my 2 granddads died nearly 20 years ago. The 2 nans probably got less than a year left each, realistically.
Oh.
So that part of your life that you remember when growing up is almost gone. And I'll tell the stories about that, and that's the legacy, right? Yeah. And I want my kids to be able to tell that story about me. It's like he was always there. He always done his best by us. Maybe not got everything right, but tried in every situation to do the best thing and to do the right thing. And sometimes doing the right thing is not that easy thing, I always think.
This is, again, such an important subject though, isn't it? Because we are our kids' protectors, and their version of the world, especially when they're very young, is what we expose them to. Like we help to form their beliefs. Yeah. What chance do they stand if we don't believe in ourselves to begin with? Yeah. So if we're not willing to, related to health and fitness, prioritise our own health and well-being, speak kindly to ourselves, speak up for ourselves, walk into a room and be seen, allow ourselves to be carefree, how can we expect our kids to do the same? Exactly. Like we have to live it.
Going back to what you said about you know, the Christmas pajama thing, like, you know, breaking that norm, boycotting the thing. It's like
I love it. I love a set of matching PJs, by the way.
It's
but
like
the whole just pressure on families
to actually
is just
go and
wild.
do it. Yeah. It's that thing, isn't it? Of like, if you're here and where you want to get to is here, it's kind of like a straight line, and the discipline that you need to get there and the habits that you need to get there, it's basically how far you're willing to deviate from that line.
Yeah.
Is how long it'll take.
Yeah.
And sometimes sticking to that line is really, 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 really tough.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where your mates, literally your best mates, will be like, "Oh, just come and have a drink," or even your mum might be like, "What are you doing that for?" Like I spoke to this girl last week, and she was like, "Went to Egypt with my mum, and I was going to the gym in the morning when I was in Egypt, and my mum was like, "Oh, what are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? We're on holiday." She's
Yeah.
like, "I want to go to the gym
Because it's part of who I am.
Yeah. And some people just can't grasp it, and sometimes you might get criticised for it, or sometimes you might take a bit of shit for it, or people might gossip about you. But at the end of the day, what matters is that you stick to your values and your beliefs.
We have got to build some bulletproof mental resilience
100%.
to stop giving a shit.
And that's
about
why.
what
And
anybody
that's why
else
I think,
thinks.
honestly, that we talked about this bit off camera as well. I always think the reason why I've never really had bad mental health is because I've always done that. I've always tried to stick to my own values and belief systems, and because I was made redundant at 21. And I put myself as a PT, so I was always in a position where it's like, my back's against the wall, can't rely on anyone else, I'm going to go and do it, went and done it. And then I was always in a position where I was like in a service to someone else.
Yeah.
So everything I was ever selling was like a service to someone else. It was never a product. It was just, I'd sell a PT session or block or this or that. But it was always set in the need.
That's quite gratifying
someone.
as well, isn't it?
Yeah. But I never deviated. Really, like the one common thing through the whole thing, and the only time I've ever really had relative success is when I've just stuck to my own belief systems.
Stuck to your own lane, yeah.
Yeah. And actually, has everything ever worked out? No. I've had some big ideas that haven't worked out.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the success I've ever now is based off them habits and belief systems that I've built before.
Yeah.
So if I skipped all that process,
Like we can all look back, can't we, and think, oh, if I'd have done things differently, then I'd be further ahead now. And I definitely see that in some of the decisions that I've made, 100%. But listen, there's nothing I can do about what's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not going to...
You strike me as like the most mentally strong, one of the most mentally strong women I've met.
Thanks.
Would you say
That's
that?
a bigger compliment to me than someone saying you're in good shape. Someone says to me, you seem really mentally strong.
I think that's why
yeah,
me and you've
I'll
always
take
kind
that.
of like clicked and got along. Because that's the truth of
But
it.
this goes back to like the first podcast, and you said to me, Nick, just talk about your story. And I was like, I don't know how that's relevant. And you were like, it mightn't be. Just talk about it anyway, because it's part of who you are. And it's like, my mum was not mentally strong. I've got a very vivid memory of us being in, I'm pretty sure it was Asda. And the woman on the checkout was really rude to my mum. And I want to say I was about 13. I don't know. I mean, I was still a kid living at home. And I was just, excuse me, that's my mum you're talking to. And I just went off on one because I just thought, we're not having that. And when we got outside, my mum was like, thanks, babe. And she told everyone the way our Nick stuck up for me in the supermarket. And it was like a switch flicked. I feel emotional talking about it, because for me, it was like, mum, have the mental strength to stand up for yourself and like speak highly of yourself. And so for me, I've prioritised that. So the physical comes as a byproduct of like taking care of yourself mentally requires moving your body. So with the exercise, like, it just all plugs in together, doesn't it?
Yeah. Great fucking take. So we talk about goals and habits. We talked about how you help people, but this year you came to the old content room actually. And
we have grown.
We've done a load of work together before we actually filmed the first podcast. And we talked about big ideas and where you want to get to and all that kind of stuff. But you've got your own podcast now.
Yeah.
Which is going well. Tell me a bit about that.
So it's the Nicola Graham podcast. I met you on the networking.
Yeah.
And casually mentioned that I wanted to start a podcast. I don't even know why we had this conversation. And you were like, just come on mine. And then I told you that I just felt like technically I didn't even know where to start. I just knew I had a message that I wanted to get across. And yeah, the rest is history. You helped get me off the ground. I think I needed to get those first couple of episodes under my belt in the environment that it did as well in the content room, because first of all, it kept me consistent. Remember I said on the second episode I really didn't want to turn up and do it. I think I was like, I don't know, time of the month or whatever. I was like, can't be arsed today. And it was like, Nick, this is not about you. This is about the message that you want to give to support other women. Like, let's get it done. You kept me accountable. And so, yeah, it's honestly, it's a passion project for me. If I could record an episode every day and put it out, I would. Time doesn't allow for that, but
What's that?
I love it.
When I started the old concept room, I made this like conscious decision to myself, didn't tell anyone, but I was like, if we're going to do big ideas, I can't work with small ideas. I want to, like, some people come along and they're just ideas just aren't big enough. So it's not a big enough problem that we can help with.
Yeah.
Now, there might be other companies out there that might be able to do that, but for us, we were like, I want to work with people with big, solid ideas. So when you came along, the idea was mad, because I knew straight away just by looking at your content and stuff. I just knew straight away. And I kind of knew you from a distance a little bit because a friend, I think, might have got coached by you or something. And I was just like, there's so much value there within that content and within what you're doing. It just totally suits a podcast because you can't articulate that much value in 30 seconds.
No,
and I've got this real fucking confliction with short form content.
Same.
I've got this real confliction about it.
Honestly, the attention span now
Elon
is
Musk
averaging 5 seconds.
Elon Musk was doing an interview yesterday, and it was on one of the social media platforms yesterday. And he said, what's the worst invention that's happened in the last, you wish hadn't happened? And he said short form video. And short form video is like, it's what works. We sell short form video. Like, it's a real confliction because short form videos, like...
But we've had to conform to the fact that... So, I draw the line. You're not going to see me...
So how do you get eyes on
juggling?
How does Nicola Graham... From my head, my thought process is, how do I get eyes on Nicola Graham's content? That's my job. The way we do that is short form content because the most eyes are on it. But actually, the most value comes from the
long form.
The long form. So how do we square that circle? It's like we need a process in which we can deliver that value, but get people into this higher value stuff so that essentially they can help themselves, or you can help them. And I just think podcasts are such a great medium to do that, because people say it's like alternative media. I don't even think it's alternative anymore. I think people just listen to podcasts more and watching podcasts more.
I do. You know what? I can't remember the last time that I listened to music. I went to a choir concert last night. It was amazing. And there was a guy there singing, Jamie Lawson. Have you ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was incredible. And I was like, I'm going to go wild and download his music, because I haven't downloaded music since, I don't know.
Yeah.
Destiny Child times. I'm listening to a podcast, I'm listening to an audiobook, or, it's funny, isn't it? I think it's the norm.
Yeah. So how have you noticed the podcast? I mean, and this isn't, you don't have to talk about the content in this, but since you've been doing the podcast, even at home, how has the podcast helped you and your business, and like what kind of state it is in?
How it's helped my business? Well, it's an additional coaching tool for me. So first and foremost, I am speaking to the women that I coach. Now, the women that I coach are very like-minded with a lot of the listeners. So I think from a business perspective, I'm just able to articulate better what it is that I'm about and the message, and I'm able to be more direct. I'm able to cut out the BS. I don't have to, be on a reel with a hook that's going to have you engaged in the first 5. Like, if you're choosing to tune in and you're on a drive or you're on a walk or whatever, the likelihood is you probably are going to listen to more than 8 seconds, which is like real, don't know, is that the average watch time or something? And so I'm able to have conversations that matter. I don't actually want to tell you the best bloody buys in Aldi. Like, honestly, that's probably like the hot trend and reel at the moment, you know, for your Christmas shopping or whatever. That's great, it's helpful. I actually want to talk about the stuff that we're experiencing when our hormones are changing, or when we don't have an hour in the day for ourselves, or when we're stress eating, or, you know, I want to talk about the other stuff that matters, and that can't be condensed down into like short form. But it matters, Steve. So my big idea is to help women thrive. We have to talk about the stuff that matters. We can't avoid it. Otherwise, you're not going to get to that point of thriving.
I love it.
You might get to the edge and you feel as though, okay, but we have to talk about things that are going on in our heads and in life, and like the real stuff.
For sure. Love it.
I think.
Love it. I love it so much. So how do you square that circle of like the pros and cons of social media? Because I was speaking to Becky Jones last week, and she's like quite big on doing content at the moment and building a personal.
Her content's amazing at the moment. I love it.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? And she was saying about like social media is like a really powerful tool that you can use in a really positive way. And I tend to agree because I'm biased that way. But ultimately our job is to kind of get people off social media, right, and get people into our businesses and help them better in that way. So just from like a fitness point of view, but also a business point of view, how have you found social media evolve over the last few years?
Well,
pros and cons.
Oh God, it's gone wild, hasn't it?
Yeah.
For me personally now, I prefer to just pick up the phone, record a video, post it. Just me sat in the car, me in the back kitchen, me on a walk, saying how it is. Because if I try to tweak and polish a piece of content too much, I stress myself out. Do I think that would probably reach more people and grow my audience quicker? Yeah, it probably would, if I was changing all these different camera angles. But it's a lot to keep up with. Yeah. So I think if you're a coach or you run your business on social media, it's really important to just stay clear on what is doable for you.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I went through this whole stage, and actually your content really helped me, because you every day, reminder, post the content. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm just getting in my own way. I would go, you know, a week, head full of ideas, wouldn't post one thing, because in my mind it needs to look a certain way, it needs to be for a certain length of time, it needs to have funky music, it needs to be. And I'm like, Nick, you fell into that comparison trap. And unfortunately, like, there are some people out there who are absolutely amazing at creating content. I speak to people all the time and they actually love creating content. I don't have a love for creating content today. I just know that, like, my passion is helping women thrive.
Yeah.
But I have to use social media as a vehicle to get women into
it's almost
the
like
business.
your speakerphone, and like your megaphone of like shouting your message out.
If megaphone was still a vibe, I'd just do that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, social media is so. First off, I completely agree with everything you just said. But social media is so loud now. There's so much noise on social media.
It actually terrifies me
from all angles. Like, and I realised this. We went on a few years back. We went on a cruise to Barbados, across a few islands, and people like used Instagram and stuff, and I was like looking at their profiles and stuff, and it really made me realise how big it actually is.
Yeah,
there's far-reaching parts of like Instagram that you would never see. Like, you know, 99.9% of social media you never see, and how loud is our feeds now? It's mad, isn't it? So I think for people like me and you, our messaging has got to be super clear and super simple and super stand out. Because if you're not, you're just adding more information to this already fucking noisy place that people are confused about. So actually our messaging has got to be more clear, more concise. Like, even just a simple marketing message, like post the content, or in your case, the stuff that matters.
One of like what?
Marketing stuff for you. I've used that slogan.
One of my messages.
We talk about the stuff that matters.
You can remind me of that when we come off the podcast.
So your podcast, you should say to people, you should listen to me podcast because we talk about the
stuff that matters.
Yeah. And you can't do that on social media in 30 seconds. And that's a really powerful message.
Yeah. one of my messages though to the women that I
I'll
work
probably
with.
keep that in. That's probably a bit of value for everyone there.
Yeah, there we go.
But don't rob that marketing slogan that Nick's going to have.
And tune into my podcast because we're talking about the stuff that matters.
Yeah, for sure.
But like one of my messages to my clients is you have to get off social media and stop relying on it to educate you, because you've, especially with health and fitness and maybe in business and in life, and I don't know, it's nice to have all of these different perspectives. Wouldn't that be nice? There's too many though now. So you've got to get clear. I will relate this to health and fitness because this is on the money.
Yeah.
If you're going to come and work with me, Steve, and we're going to follow a 90-day or a 6-month journey, you have to stop looking at what everybody else is doing and comparing yourself, because otherwise you're going to spend your whole life, similar to what you said your guest was saying last week, jumping ship, thinking that what everybody else is doing is better, and your own journey becomes just a mashup of following everybody else's random bits of advice. So you're going into the gym and doing one thing, and then you're eating a certain way, and then you're doing this certain juice diet, and it's like, nope, that's all noise. A lot of it is like, I've said this on a previous podcast with you, I could sell a glute guide and be, probably making lots of money from just selling like exercise in this way. Morally, I don't want to do that. And,
I don't think that would suit you, to be fair.
Because I believe that there's more to it than that. Yeah. You can't just go into the gym and like, this is the way that you're going to work out. And
in a really sort of, again, in a really sort of professional way. Someone might look at yourself who probably looks 5 to 10 years younger than what you actually are, in great shape, got it sorted, mentally resilient, strong.
Seems to have it sorted once again, social media.
Physically strong. Me and you know each other a bit better now. Great parents, great partner, everything. Striving to be the best person you can be, striving to have the best business you can be. It would be so easy for you to sell that. It would be because who wouldn't want to look like Nicola Graham? Like,
well, gosh.
What I mean by that is, how many women who want to lose weight that come to you go, I'd love to have your body. I used to get it all the time.
But this is what's happening on social media, is that, so we're seeing, the aesthetic outcome, and then we want to buy the plan because we want to know exactly what you're doing. We want to know what you're eating.
That would be an easy sell for you.
But listen, we want to know what you're eating and what you're training. But you also would need to know what my stress response is, how I take care of myself mentally, how I practice gratitude, how I try my best to consciously focus on gratitude before my eyes close every single night. I do the exact same thing when I wake up for the morning. It's a conscious practice. All of that plays into everything else, like the ease around food and the decision to prioritize training, and it's a bigger picture. And also the other con now on social media is that we can buy into someone's aesthetics goals. How do we know that they're not photoshopped? Like, how nothing's real.
True story. I mean, I've seen this one girl. I don't even know who she is. I don't remember her name. On Instagram, and her waist looked so small and her boobs looked so big that it just didn't even look real. Like, and I was like, that cannot be real. Like, it's just physically impossible for that to be real.
Search history.
It's like, I mean, my algorithm mainly is like content stuff and influencers.
And women with tiny waists and big boobs.
Honest to God, like, I seen it and I was like, oh my goodness. I even said to Becky, like, look at that. It was unbelievably like Photoshop.
Disproportionate.
Yeah, it was mad. It was like, how, like, what goes through a girl's mind to even post that? Like, it's so doctored.
See, I'm going to be honest. I don't even look at that type of stuff. Not women's bodies, but stuff that just seems like it's so far removed from what's normal, because I just can't give any of my energy to anything like that. I'm just not interested. Fair. Like, I'm genuinely, sometimes me and Mark will start talking about something and I realise that we're talking about something that is genuinely just a waste of our time and energy. Yeah. I'm like, sorry to be rude, but can we just cut this conversation? Because it's like, this doesn't actually matter to us, does it? Anyway. It doesn't serve us. Like, what are we even talking about? And I work with some amazing women, right? They are amazing. And they don't see it in themselves. And
Why
as
do
a
you think that is? Like generally, is it a self-worth thing?
probably a bit of everything that we've spoken about, the concept of having it all and not realising that you've got it all. It's just not all happening right now. I think the other part of this is we never see ourselves through the eyes that other people see us, do we?
No. It's so good as well that you've built a community and resources and a podcast and content and a business that bridges that gap. It's so good. Like,
It's a work in
and
progress.
actually, but it isn't everything though. Like, look at the content room. Like, everyone walks in, it's like, wow, amazing. But I'm like, yeah, there's still a job to do.
In your mind, there's still so much to do.
There's still so much to do, and just so much to, like, so much progress to make, and so much graphs to put in, and that's the exciting part, actually. So when you're kind of being a bit more self-deprecating like that, actually, that's the exciting part. It's like, I've got all this stuff to do, and that's good. So actually, like, if you could apply that to, like, say, fitness, and say, right, you've got a few stones to lose, and you've got some mindset shifts to make, and you've got some habits to build, and that. But that's the exciting part. It's like, I take Harry to football sometimes, and it's just kids running around. It's not like football. They don't know, like, the positions or anything. It's just running around. But they love it. They don't judge themselves based on they're all crap at football and they don't know what to do.
Oh no,
they're not judging themselves.
No. They're not comparing
the
themselves.
coach is saying, stand there, Harry. And I see him and he's like, stand there, Harry, go on. And Harry goes and stands there and he runs off and he does something else and he makes a mistake and he loses the ball. But they don't judge themselves, they get up and do it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we were at an event not long ago and Penelope was taking part. And she said to me in the car on the way home, who else do you think was good today, Mummy? And I mentioned a few other kids who were in a different category to what she was. And she said, no, out of like my category. And I said, I don't really know, babe. I wasn't looking at anyone else. I was just focused on you. And honestly, I just seen in the rear view the biggest smile on her face. That's what she needed to hear. But that was genuinely.
Yeah.
But I thought, how easy is it though as a parent to say, do you know that other kid who you're competing against, she was good, wasn't she? And did you see that other one, she was good? And before we realise it as parents, we are encouraging our kids to compare themselves to others. That's where it starts. And I always make a point of saying this now. She'll go, who else do you think was good, Mummy? And I'm like, I don't know, babe. I was only watching you. And I genuinely mean that. And she's always like, okay. It's her versus her. She's not thinking, Mummy's going to be looking at me compared to anyone else. We're not. We're just looking at you versus your best.
Yeah.
But I also do mental rehearsal and everything with my kids, as you know, so.
So I could speak about this all day.
Same.
2026. What does that look like for Nicola Graham?
So I want to work on the podcast.
So first off, before we get into that, 2025, reflective time of year, bit of a nostalgic time of year. Have you hit all the goals that you want to achieve this year?
Most.
So what's going to roll into next year then, and how does that look for you?
So the podcast is something that I want to build upon, get more guests on, maybe have more of a strategy behind it. Like initially starting it was just like, Nick, just get it done, get it out, stay consistent, build a little bit of momentum with it. Now it's like, okay, how do I actually build on this? Like this could be something. And I love it. So it's a big passion. Helping more women to thrive. Like keeping my eyes wide open to what avenues can I go down to help as many women as possible. So I'm presenting it like a corporate mental wellbeing day in January for the officers at Very, Very, the catalogue company. So they're apparently really big on taking care of their staff's mental well-being, which is amazing. So I'm going to be delivering a talk on how your nutrition supports your mental health, which is obviously huge, and especially in January. So again, there's one little avenue where...
I love it.
And just, do you know what? Just continuing to live by what I try to promote. Like staying present, cutting out the noise, taking care of my own health, removing any self-limiting beliefs. I still have all of that stuff. Like if I'm going on a podcast and I'm dishing out advice, half of the time I am also talking to myself on that podcast.
Yeah.
Like we all have this like voice, don't we, in the background? And I'm learning to get better at telling that voice to piss off, basically, and just going for it anyway.
I feel like we do share similar values, family values, business values, life values, and that's why we can speak like this all the time.
And this is why it's like an hour-long podcast.
Yeah.
And we feel like we haven't
Probably
scratched
more,
the surface.
Exactly. And in the least condescending way possible, I'm proud of you this year. You started the podcast and you smashed it, and the big idea that you had, which was just an idea at the time, is now an actual reality. So fucking fair play for that. And I appreciate everything you've done with us this year. If you are a thriving woman or want to become a thriving woman, where's the best place you can find Nicola Graham and the Thriving Women community?
So head to my Instagram page, which is Nicola Graham Fitness. We've got the Thriving Women community, so all of the links can be found on Instagram, or come and listen to the Nicola Graham podcast. Amazing.
I'm going to collaborate with Nicola Graham on YouTube with across her channel and my channel, just for a bit of double exposure, really. So all the links for everything.
I thought you were going to say you were going to become a thriving woman then. I was going to say, you kept that quiet.
Never say never. I need to become a thriving man first, frigging out.
We'll talk off air.
I know. Do you actually train men?
No. I did, and I quickly realised that men had an ulterior motive for why they wanted to train with me. Because realistically, let's be honest, if you're a bodybuilding guy, you want to be training with a man who's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I will say this. Look, this is classical. We were just about to wrap up there. When I train women and we get into like the nooks and crannies, and I'm like, does your partner like fitness? Does he take care of his health? No, he's my biggest saboteur, blah, blah, blah. Like, so we try and get the hubby on board. I will give generic, maybe habits, non-negotiables, just
bit of push them in the right
tips
direction.
and advice that can just be plugged in easily.
Well, it's funny this year, when I was a PT, my sort of target market was around 45-year-old women. So I was always around women in the 40s. And typically people would come sometimes and they'd be like, I'm divorced, I want to get back in the game a little bit, start dating again. Or my kids have grown up a little bit now and I want to sort of start a new career of some sort.
Get back to me. Yeah.
And in the least crass way possible, like just get the sex life back on track a little bit. And actually a big thing in it was just like getting the husband to fancy me again, or going on dates. And I want to just feel good, and I want to feel like my husband actually just thinks I'm sexy and that. And actually, that's a big thing, and it shouldn't.
It's huge.
It's like it's a bit of a taboo topic to talk about.
That is a feeling, though. But again, like as women, we're great at having conversations in our own head that probably our husband's not thinking that at all. Yeah. He's not even paying attention. We're the ones who won't turn the lights on. We're the ones who, don't want to get changed in front of our hubby in case he thinks I've put weight on it. Your confidence it's an energy. It's just like it's a vibe, isn't it? Yeah. Two women could walk in this room now. One might be smaller in size than the other, but we will be attracted to the energy, not the dress size.
True story.
That is like, but that's an internal. I'm taking care of myself. I'm speaking to myself well. I know my worth. I prioritize myself. There's your confidence.
I love it.
Is your physical body gonna follow suit? Of course it is. Yeah. You're not gonna be walking around carrying excess body fat if you are doing all of those things and prioritising yourself. So
yeah, there's no point in changing the body if the mind's not going to go with it, and there's no point in changing the mind if the body's not going to go with it.
Yeah,
I love it. So much wisdom.
Get them lights on, ladies.
I actually,
unapologetically.
Not 100%. Just get in there.
The men don't care.
Just get in there and do it.
Can we cut that bit? We should cut that bit.
Maybe. We'll see. genuinely though, I do appreciate your time. I appreciate, as I said, everything you've done, and can't wait to see it grow next year. And if there's anything I can, you know, help you with, I'll help you. I'm going to put all the links to everything around this video. I'll collaborate across channels. And if you're a forever woman out there, just get in there.
Thanks, Dee.
We are done.